All right, everybody, what is going on? I am Core Danny, the most handsome member of the QORcast, and I am here to talk about probably one of the most controversial topics in the Tekken universe right now. And this has been a thing ever since Tekken 8 came out with the new introduction of the heat system, which some people hate it, some people love it. Personally, I really like it, but I don't think everybody gets it as good as some other people do. So I just want to talk about some of the properties of the heat system and what I think is really cool about it, what I think is ridiculous about it, and just like some cool stuff you could do with it. So the first thing is like, what is heat? You can manually enter heat by pressing, there's a button for it that gives you this activation. It's an armored move and it leaves you +2 on hit if you just mash it. The other ways you can get into heat are if you use a heat engager, which are certain strings on some characters. Well, every character has one or multiple, but certain strings that put you into heat, where if you land them, they leave you at +17 right in their face. So a very good situation to be on if you hit a heat engager. But what can you do when you're in heat? You do 10% more damage across the board with all of your attacks. An enemy blocks an attack, they start taking gray health. If you look at Kazuya's health bar, he's got some gray health, meaning that if he attacks me back or he lands a heat engager, he will heal most, if not all, of that health back. The other thing you can do in heat is you could do your heat smash, which is a move only available in heat. You just press the heat button again and it activates this move, and it does a lot of damage. Every character's has different properties. Some of them are lows, most of them are mids. Generally they leave you plus even if they're blocked. So for example, if Kazuya blocks my heat, I'm still +6. So it is advantageous for me as a Dragunov to just press this button. This also unlocks certain moves you can do out of heat. So if I am Dragunov, for example, I can just do my tackle move and it is unbreakable while I'm in heat. The only way someone can dodge this is if they down jab or if they jump. But I don't know why you would ever jump in this game unless you have a hop kick. And the last thing you can do when you're in heat is if you use one of your heat engager moves and hold forward out of it, you can, in most cases, launch for a full combo. Or the other thing you can do is if they block your move, you can dash for +5 in their face. So using your heat moves while you're in heat is always a good idea because you can generally get, if not a combo off of it, at least a great situation out of it. So why is heat so controversial? Well, because the heat engager moves are not treated fairly in this game. What do I mean by they are not treated fairly? Certain people have heat engagers that can launch at ridiculous frames. Generally in Tekken, for something to be launch punishable, meaning like you could hit someone in the air for a full combo, it has to be -15. But as you could see from the other move that I did, Dragunov's back 4-3, this move, this is a 14 frame startup, meaning that if someone is -14, they could potentially eat at least 65 damage. That wasn't even like optimal combo right there. That's like, for being -14, that is a little ridiculous. Certain characters can definitely get more, certain characters can get less. Something else you can do with your heat dash is that mid combo you can use it to extend it. So this isn't going to be super optimal, but and that gives some good oki. So all for something that's like -14. So certain people, I think it makes sense that they can get launched from -14. Like Clive has his orbital attack that leaves him like that. There are some characters that can use their heat that gives them launchers at even less. But why did I say before that heat is not fair to everybody? Well, some people abuse heat a lot more than others. So Dragunov, what he wants to do is if he gets into heat, he either wants to use a move like back 4-3 to get a full combo, he wants to use sneak 4 to get a full combo, and that's without sneak even talking about how absurd Sneak 4 of a move is, regardless of heat, or he wants to get a punish with 1-2-1 and get like +5. If it's a counter hit, he can get a knockdown and get like a down 2 or a down back 3+4 for a bit of a follow-up, but no full combo off of that. So we saw how Dragunov uses heat, and he has a pretty straightforward approach, like what he wants to do in heat, what moves he's looking to hit, and even if he just uses his heat smash, it gives him a good situation. He could do his tackle out of it, or he's +7, I believe, so he can pretty much do whatever he wants, and you have to block whatever. Other characters, he is not nearly as advantageous. So someone like Steve, for example, has a move like Sonic Fang, which is his go-to 14-frame punish, right? But in heat, if he dashes out of it, he doesn't get a combo, he just gets a guaranteed follow-up. So why is this unfair? Because people like Dragunov, who already have absurd damage, and he's my main. So this is me talking about my main, trying not to downplay as much as I would like to. To talk about like what Dragunov gets from his heat versus like what Steve gets from his heat is very different. So what else can Steve do in his heat, for example? Steve has this move, While Running 2, which is a heat engager, and it's +6, right? But Steve can also do While Running 2 and heat dash out of it, but if it's blocked, it's +5. So like, why would Steve want to heat dash out of this move ever? Like, it's a little redundant. He gets less of an advantage if he heat dashes out of it. This mover, however, is a launcher, so he can get something. Sorry, my Steve combos aren't super optimized. So that's 74 damage off a move that evades lows. It low crushes because he jumps, and if it's blocked, it's +6 on hit. So luckily he can only do that once in heat, so that's not like the scariest thing, but still something to think about. Then there are some characters that absolutely completely abuse heat in every possible way, and Kazuya is one of these. Now, I'm not going to say this like Kazuya is easy to play, because he's arguably the hardest character to play, at least top 3 hardest, right? But he has probably the best heat in the entire game. One of his defining moves in Tekken 8, which is a complete neutral dominating move, is forward 2 or his Demon Paw. This is a heat engager, it's safe on block at -9, so he can't be punished for it. But then this move is just scary, because he can whip it out at any range. It has pretty good reach, and then if he dodges out of it, he can get a full combo. Excuse my unoptimized Kazuya combos, he is not my main heat, I just play him for fun. Then also in heat, Kazuya has a low heat smash, which is, it doesn't do as much damage as many of the other heat smashes because it's low, and I think that's fine, and it's punishable on block. But if you're not expecting it, yes, he could just do a random low heat smash. Other things with Kazuya, for example, is the Mishimas have the electric input, which is forward, neutral, down, down, forward 2, which very fast looks like this, and perfect electric is when you press down, forward, and 2 at the same time, you see the electric come out. It's usually very difficult to do. When you're in heat, you don't need to do the perfect input. Every single time, you could see that there's about 4 frames of lag between my down forward and my down forward 2 input, if you look at the move list, but I'm still getting electric every single time. So in heat, he takes away the execution barrier of one of his most defining moves that has been in the series forever, I believe since Tekken 1, and just makes it easy. So you don't, I already cheat to use this move, but then people who don't even have the means to cheat can still cheat doing it. Kazuya is also a big heat abuser because some of his very good strings that are safe on block, aside from his Demon Paw, become full launcher. Like down forward 1-2 becomes a full launcher, so we could do and then his heat is pretty much used to complete his bread and butter combo, which is a little absurd. This is like the go-to Kazuya combo. for 78 damage off a while standing 2, or this can also be done off counter hit down forward 2. All because he has heat. And that's not even talking about the other stuff he has in heat, where he gets certain little combo extensions that do bonus damage, so that's without even the hard stuff, and you don't need to burn heat to get the 73 damage. Obviously, I'm not a Kazuya main, and I can't get the maximum damage because I haven't labbed the combos, but he has so much utility when he's in heat that it's just absurd. Then the last character I want to talk about when it comes to things not being fair in heat is Jin. And I say not being fair because admittedly, Jin is quite the absurd character in this game. He has pretty much every single tool you could need. His heat engagers are pretty good, but his heat is incredibly lackluster. So to start, his heat engagers are, he has a Demon Paw, just like Kazuya does. He has Zen 2, which is a, let's look at all the hit properties on that. It is a homing, heat engaging armor move, which is absurd. And then he has some other utility where if he gets standing 4 counter hit, 1+2 is guaranteed, and this move is, it's just a setup. But in heat, Jin literally has nothing new that he can do. He gets the standard Demon Paw launcher. Excuse my terrible Jin combos, but I don't play this character either. But really, like, other than that, he doesn't have anything that's like crazy. Pretty much the only thing that Jin wants to do while he's in heat is do his heat smash. And to be fair, it's a crazy heat smash. It has, look at the pushback on this. It leaves you a +3. It also wall splats, which most characters don't. So it'll break the wall or it'll splat them on the wall for a full wall combo, which could be up to like 50-60 damage if you're super optimal. Just the fact that he has this move with the range that it does is crazy. And then yeah, if it's blocked, he can start doing the Jin nonsense, you know, like all his stupid plus frame stuff, and it's really annoying. But like in terms of what his heat actually gives him, like cool, dashing out of Demon Paw for like +5 is cool, I guess, or using this Zen 2 move, which is a homing heat engager, is cool, but you can't get anything off of it. You just get a little Scourge follow-up. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got about heat. I really like heat. I think they could probably balance it a bit more in season 2. Some of the characters, like I have shown examples of, definitely utilize heat a bit better than others. So I would like to see some balance in it. I understand some of the choices they have, like not giving Jin a strong heat because he's got pretty much perfect buttons without heat. But I think certain people definitely are a bit more privileged than others, and some people really kind of struggle. Like Steve's heat is really not great. Doesn't really give him anything. And I think Steve is somewhat struggling in this game, so he's someone that maybe could use some more love. A lot of other characters don't really have any utility in heat aside from the good heat smash. Like Lee is another good example of this, where pretty much his only heat utility is using it mid combo for extensions, but other than that, he doesn't really gain anything great besides its just frames. So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you like heat? Do you hate it? What characters do you think have stupid heat? Who do you think needs more? Let me know in the comments, and go make sure to check out the rest of the stuff on the channel. And you could find me on my own channel, Danny Likes Fighting Games. I talk about this kind of stuff all the time, and I'm always trying to help people learn and get into the games. So I will see you guys in the next video.